yo, what's up, everyone? It's Dojo, the community manager for the Polish Ambassadors fan club and all things exploration into the metaverse, Web3, NFTs. So on this channel, we love talking with artists, builders, creators, just interesting folks doing interesting things. And we've got an absolutely fire episode here for you today. I'm actually a little bit nervous, to be honest. We've got none other than Domino in the house. Domino, what's good, man?
Hello. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, it's great. It's great to have you with us today. Thanks so much for agreeing to do this.
Yeah.
We're in a group chat. I kind of see you once in a while with Jack Frost, the Mecca, D Fresh. Man, there's a good little group there that's vibing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's been great to see many circles forming in the music space.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into your story. I mean, we'll talk about your NFT drop. We'll talk about the trilogy album that you've got rolling right now. But let's back up the story to the beginning. Did I hear that you started out doing, was it close-up magic work? Is that where this tale begins?
Yeah, 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 man. I started doing close-up card magic when I was 8. I was considered professional by 12.
Holy.
And that was my whole focus and determination until I was like 19, 20. And yeah, it included a lot of things, but I was writing like magazine articles on performance and the breakdown of psychology of magic and why it's it hits something in our childlike wonder, you know. And yeah, that was everything. That was everything to me. And I was traveling, performing. I was doing a lot of video work and just, making it happen. And I was obsessed.
That's amazing. Now, your dad wasn't like a musician, a magician or something, or like, how did you get in that at eight years old? Like you just subscribed to a magazine or something?
Kind of, but the main thing was when I was really young, my family would play like card games, like Rummy and these other random games, and my hands were like really little, and so I couldn't hold onto like cards like this in a hand. Mm-hmm. So my mom got me this plastic holder thing. It was like a circle thing that would hold the cards, and I hated it. I hated it so much. It was such an ego hit for my little kid version of me, and I was like, no. So no. I just started practicing with cards, and I started with like gambling cheats because my family would play poker. So I started learning how to second deal, how to false shuffle, and these like gambling techniques, because that was like the world I thought was cool. Like all these.
Were you just cleaning out your family? I'm imagining you sitting across from your uncles, just like royal flush again.
They learned real quickly to not. They stopped letting me play, But yeah, then that quickly turned into like I saw David Copperfield's special, and he like cut himself in half and walked around and did these crazy things. And I was like, yo, okay, like I can take these gambling cheats and do things that look like magic, like crazy things. And that just like, that did something for me. And there was just a determination. There was a lot of alignment, like that's just what I would do to like get through life, I guess. Like it was therapeutic because I was just like, to practice moves, it was just like this crazy determination of really minuscule movements that look like nothing, but you're doing like really technical, crazy things. And that just like, I don't know, something about that was so intriguing, and the whole world, the escape world of it, the psychology, like mentalism, all these different aspects of it was just so interesting to me. And I loved psychology since I was super young. People just were so interesting, and I wanted to know why they did what they did. So it was dope to be a young kid and able to bring these adults into that sense of wonder. It's a lot of fun.
I love that. Yeah, the drama, the psychology, the
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
And then what happened, so again, you mentioned kind of, 18, 19, 20, and then you got out. So
I got
was
out.
there an
Yeah.
accident or you just fell in love
No.
with something else?
No. Well, when you do something so young like that and you don't do anything else, like I played sports, like I played soccer my whole life. Like that was my other thing. But beyond that, that was it. That was everything. And so it when you turn 18 and you've been doing it for 10 years, that's crazy. It felt, and through high school, I was doing that every day. Like
Wow.
it was a thing,
So there's jocks and different groups at high school. Were you hanging out with other magicians or like you're...
No, no one else did that, like at all. At all.
A one of one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was it. That was it. They had me battle this yo-yo kid once, and that was it. Just funny high school stuff. But yeah, I got really worn out on it. Once that started happening, because it was, people asking for it constantly, and I started being like, yo, no, I'm just trying to like live, and no. So then I just stopped. And at that same time I was doing public speaking at this class at the high school I went to. It's amazing. I believe this class should be in every school. I think it would change the whole climate of kind of everything these last few years. But yeah, it's a blessing. I know you didn't even ask a question yet, but it all connects. That moment of me being like, okay, I don't necessarily want to do this like this anymore. I think I can, like, I did this, like
live that chapter,
50,000 hours. Like we did it. And that became the moment where I discovered music. And that was through spoken word poetry. I started performing that, and I would do that at the end of these public speaking moments, and it connected with the students in like a way deeper level than magic. Like it was its own thing. And this kid asked me to put a poem over music, and I started sampling classical pieces, and
the rest is history.
But that moment was vital to feel like, okay, I feel like confident in letting kind of this mastery, this craft that I've dedicated my life to, I'm down to shift all of that into this.
I love it. Well, I got it. Again, we don't know each other too well, but so just on Wednesday, I spoke to 650 people. I'm like trained in the area of like public speaking.
Yes.
So now I'm like immediately like, what was the class? Like what was special about that experience, with that teacher, with that cohort, with the curriculum?
Yeah, man. She called it peer helping. So she traveled through the early 2000s for years pitching this class all around the country, and like no school would take it. And the high school I went to did, thank God. And she formulated the curriculum. She created this whole class. She wrote a book on it. She is Angel.
The OG.
Angel. Yeah. Her name is Valerie Erb. She's so special. And she created this class that taught students how, like, essentially how to cope and therapy techniques and love languages, and would do participation things with the class that got students connected on deeper level. It didn't matter what grade it was, what group of friends, like it was if you were in that, it's this thing. And they would do these seminars where students would like open up about their lives and just tell the stories of their lives. And they were so nuts. And it really showed students that they weren't alone, and that everyone was going through crazy stuff, no matter what level in the school and in high school world, it became human, and that brought the school together on a insanely deep level over the years. Like,
wow.
Sure.
Is she still pushing for this, or like I'm like, can we help her somehow? This sounds incredible.
Yeah, man.
It sounds needed.
It makes me emotional, man, because like in these, I have plans in these next projects to like put a fund together for her specifically, and give her more financial backing because I see what the space can do, and it's insane. And even 10,000 or 5 would like change that whole situation and be able to, like, her dream is to like spread that class and be able to teach it to other teachers so they can do it right and have the tools, you know? So that's definitely in my, that's like life goals for me. Like,
She sounds like an incredible person and a special moment. And it clearly, I mean, I've been in your world, Domino world, for like the past week because I knew this interview was coming up, and I was like, oh my God, like it's like an onion, man. Like I'm just like peeling back and just like, whoa, the storytelling, the emotion, and now things are kind of clicking and making sense. It sounded like
man,
this was really a pivotal moment.
Yeah. All of that aligned in so many incredible ways. It set the foundation for everything. And then I graduated, and in that year of my graduation is when I came up with the Domino name and the brand and what it was. So I've been running with it since. So the core and foundation of my goals and my vision and what I'm putting into the music and the videos and all the art, everything, it's all stemming from that, you know, and the purpose is that it's to bring connection and to open up and connect in ways that only like art can do
on a deeper level. And Domino, why that name? What was, now I need to know, was there something behind that decision?
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. Everything is pretty calculated. I'm a details artist.
I can tell immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a name and I was coming up with all these things, and I was still in the magic world. So I was like, okay, like it needs to be in that kind of world of mystery and things. And I didn't want it to be whack or corny. I very much so wanted to go into music as my own entity and not let that gimmick, take over. So I was watching TV and this commercial played, or this movie, and they said it as a name. And I was like, that's really cool. That's really cool. I like the vibe. Again, this like black and white kind of branding, and left it open to like dive into film and take aspects of that world without being corny and too magical, I guess.
I love it. Now, when I pulled up YouTube and went all the way back, I think it was called What It Do. Was that right? Yeah. Was that like your first music video that you produced and did? Or no, it goes deeper.
It goes further back. Yeah, I have taken.
You just deleted those.
I've taken my private YouTube section there's probably 80 videos on there. Yeah, since 2010 or 9.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah, so even in high school, I was doing these random videos and all these. I was always pushing to, create work in different ways.
Do you even recognize yourself? Like when you look back, I mean, I think all artists evolve over time, but like, do you look back at that and just like immediately cringe, or do you go, oh, that's like, that was really, I can see elements of what I was trying to execute, but I kind of didn't have the voice yet, or the.
Exactly that. I think I've always had like the vision. I very much so at the early start knew what this needed to be and knew what I needed to do. And I had that foundation, but the craft wasn't there. And because of magic and my learning of how to learn something and practice something and become really good at all the aspects of it, I knew it was going to take a lot of years. And so I very much so like put those years of growth publicly I grew through creating. Yeah. And giving myself projects and albums and videos, even if my craft and ability wasn't there yet. That's how I got better.
Yeah. And how much of this was in front of the camera versus like live audiences? Like what was kind of the mix?
It's always been both.
Oh, it has. Okay.
Even when I was trash, I was
getting up.
I was performing, and that taught me a lot and gave me a lot of
Oh,
resilience. Right out of high school, I moved to LA to pursue music, which is right when I started music.
so this was the
So
dream. Okay. Oh, wait.
yeah,
So well, I
it's
guess
always
I shouldn't have started with that assumption, like born and raised in LA, because a
no, no,
few
no,
times I've visited, everyone's like, no, everyone's from
no,
somewhere else.
no, definitely not. No, I'm from Northern California.
Okay. Nice, man.
So it's a solid 7 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I wanted to move to New York first. That was always my vision because I was always in theater and, these different things, but then it was way too much money. San Francisco was too much money. Art school was way too much. And my friends were moving to LA and I was like, all right, let's go.
Let's go. I like it. Well, I know very much. So I dabbled in stand-up comedy for about 5 years, and I know
Yep.
all about what you're talking about. Like
Same exact thing.
winning and having the crowd in the palm of your hand, no better feeling of ecstasy than that. And
Literally.
dying on your ass.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When just things don't go right.
Yeah, man.
The universe can humble you in incredible ways when you're on stage.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. But the humbling is strength training.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
so talk to us about then this shift into Web3. And I mean,
Mhm.
I saw it was like last October was the big launch, but
Mhm.
again, you being a calculated, planful guy, like,
Yeah.
was this in the works even before that? Like, how long was that like ramp up to that moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say 10 years,
Okay.
But in reality, like I've been, like I said, pursuing music since I moved out here, which was years and years ago. And so I've been throwing events for the last 7 years as well. I've been building a core audience very independently.
Mm-hmm.
No team, just friends and throwing these ideas together and putting teams together for events and music videos and shows. So everything's been completely independent and grassroots. And that's been like the vision as well, is formulating a community through amazing work, but connecting with them.
Is that, sorry to interrupt. Is that how you got connected with like some of these like super talented dancers and choreographers?
Yeah,
Because it was
yeah,
kind of
that
show oriented.
yeah, man. That just happened. That all my friends from high school were dancers, and so the friends that I moved out to LA with were dancers working for a dance YouTuber, and so I started editing video for him, and that introduced me to the world's best dancers instantaneously. Like literally, that's not an exaggeration. Like literally, like
These are the best.
these are the best people in the world. Like literally, and now they're just friends. They're friends I've known for years and years and years, and so everyone I knew was integrated into dance. So I was going to every dance event. I was the only, like me and my other friend were the only non-dancers at every one of these events. We were very integrated in the world, more than in music, literally.
Wow.
And so it's always been about blending that for me. It's always been dancers are it. Like they're the most incredible, intelligent artists that I know. Like they are the most prolific and they have no support. No one even knows about the world and it's crazy to me. So I learn everything from them. And it's always like live shows. I toured with 12 dancers. I have every show is integrated dance and like almost plays and art installations. All of this has always been that. So when I saw the NFT space, it was a no-brainer.
You're like, it has to be here. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I can't think of off the top of my head like a dance oriented NFT, right? Like, and that category should absolutely exist.
And it does. And the community is there. It's just like, it doesn't, like people don't even know about that in normal world, besides like America's Best Dance Crew. And So You Think You Can Dance and these TV shows, they've done a lot for people to know like dancers and especially touring artists. Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, like their core fan bases, like learn these dancers' lives, and it gives them a platform and the same kind of celebrity, So there's an ecosystem that's there that people just have no idea about, and it's so crazy. So it's really big for me. That's why with the album, I wanted to do the dance NFTs, which I got to do at Nifty Gateway, which was awesome. And I got to work with like dream collaborations. And it's crazy because no one knows who these people are, but they're
You're like, they need to be household names.
Literally. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. Yeah. And that'll happen. But yeah, so that's how the dance integration happened. But with the album and NFTs, to circle it back to that original question, I was following Ferocious since like 2017. And so pre even NFTs, and just because I was always collaborating with visual artists for song covers and album art and stuff. So it's always been this, everything I'm doing. And now it just gave me the ecosystem to actually do it digitally. So yeah, I watched Ferocious do everything and become this crazy household name and do millions and millions and millions. And so I learned that you can market yourself as a human and show yourself and tell your story in a very organic and raw way, and people will respond. And that's always been my whole thing. So to see a friend do that was like nuts. And so I started minting in early 2021 of January or February. And I was just doing drawings. I was doing self-portraits that were animated with like a music score, because music wasn't a thing yet, really. So I was like, okay, I need to lead people to the music through visual art that I was already doing privately. I just never like showed people. And then I did a bunch of drawing collections, charcoal pieces, poetry pieces, photography, started showing multidisciplinary work. All integrating with music at the end on the pieces and stuff, doing music for other visual projects, other animators, 3D artists, just friends that we were coming up at the same time.
I love just listening to you now. I'm putting together like that, like a magician. Like there's this whole run up, and then there's like the big reveal, right?
Yep,
so I mean, music was always there. It sounds like that was kind of the goal. But again, leading people through psychology and an experience to get them to kind of the promised land.
Exactly. The same. Yeah. I didn't even make that connection. So yeah, that's my whole tactic with any marketing is literally that. It's beginning, middle, and end, misdirect a little bit, and then hit them with the ooh moment,
Yeah. So what do you think made this pop off, right? I mean, Presence, like Volume 1, the album, multifaceted, all the pieces. I mean, eventually this gets picked up by Rolling Stones and Coinbase, right? You got invited to go to the freaking Super Bowl off of this, right?
Yeah. Not the game, but they did an event. But yeah, the album, it was a culmination of all the things we've already talked about, right? Like the buildup, collaborating with people. All the people that I was collaborating the whole time became the top NFT creators in the space. So I was like, it's time to do the album. And I already knew it needed to be multidisciplinary. I already knew it needed a build up. I already knew it needed all these things. And the support from all the collaborators, from everyone I built all these connections with, and the community I built over Twitch and live streaming and doing shows, propelled this to a crazy level. And we did like 85K in a day, the first day in primary sales. It was a custom contract. It was all these tech things. It was the 3 weeks of short films I dropped beforehand, and the ability to get an album in one transaction, 7 songs, 7 NFTs at one time,
Had anyone done anything like that before? Okay, you're not claiming provenance here, but
I didn't.
Maybe
I didn't see it. I'm not gonna say, there's so many things from years in the space that it's hard to say the first, but there was a lot of firsts for music in that drop.
And why?
I'm not gonna be the first that deployed multiple NFTs in one transaction. But to put it into an album and make it, then that's where kind of the newness was from. So I don't want to claim,
I got you.
But
talk to us about the intention of that drop architecture. I mean, to think in those terms, to have it be so multi-layered, like what was the intention? And then did it land where you thought it was going to land, or were you even excited and surprised?
I mean, I got to do a collab with Rolling Stone magazine. That's a music artist's dream, and articles, like, and be featured at the event. Like, my artwork was used as their first NFT ever, literally.
Yeah.
It was Rolling Stone's first NFT. Like, my face is on it. You know, like, literally, it's in the R or the S. It's in the S of Stone. Like, come on, that's insane.
Crazy.
So of course it did. It did. I didn't have an expectation.
Yeah.
Right. I knew that I wanted to execute on a product and create the world that I needed to create to bring people in and lead them on this journey, like the magic trick, you know. It's a series of magic tricks over 4 or 5 months, you know. So the album dropped and I was like, okay, like finally people get to listen to the music and experience it on a deeper level through all these art pieces, the short films. Like, the point was to look at them all together, and it did what I wanted. It was hugely successful, and it was many firsts, and I don't know if I've seen another album from an independent artist that's not huge.
Yeah.
With
you had the platform. Yeah.
To do that amount of sales. Like, we hit just under $200,000 on an album that no one had heard yet.
That's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's also culminated to multiple shows with full bands and dancers and live experiences. It did airdrops from a Marvel comic book artist. He did a comic book cover of the album. That was the airdrop for it. We're doing merch, token gated shows for NFT NYC. So it definitely did. I was freaking out. You can go on my YouTube tab and there's videos of me just every day was a new holy shit like this. And it linked me with heroes that I now get to work with for volume 2. You know, like, it set me up. Yeah. That's what it did. It's not the culmination. It's not the final.
And you wrote this from day one as a trilogy, though, right? So, I mean, volume 2, volume 3, like, were those all, like, was it completely sketched out, or just like concept was there and now you're kind of building?
The whole thing has been from the jump. It's been
master.
That, you know? Yeah, you know, like, I learned the most from, like, Kanye, right? Like, Childish Gambino, in terms of creating a world and executing it in something that fans can, like, really be a part of. The Cloverfield movie drop. Like, they had a website that, like, was password protected. You had to do codes, and then it presented photographs from the film, and you were like, what is this? And then it was crazy to watch the movie. It was amazing.
A deeper level.
The Purge, like, all of these really incredible world building things, and specifically Kanye and Gambino, like, they were combining scripts with short films and, like, code, I don't know, just crazy interactive stuff. So that's always been it from the jump, and so it's always been that. So when I was like, okay, I need to make an album, it was like, what is it? You know, and 2020 had me reflecting a lot. And so I wanted it to be something that was about me deeply, and not a metaphysical or existential concept, but like myself and my experience and what that's like. And so the project is exploring success and what that experience is like front to back. And at the end of that, if success is like what we want, like what is that journey like, you know? So I've studied an insane amount over the years of celebrity, of artists, of people that have money, entrepreneurs, like business people, what all these experiences are like. And there's all a common thread, you know? And so I that's what the album's about. It's a future manifestation of success. So at the same time of exploring what success is like and what it will be like, because it's based in the future, like winning a Grammy is what happens in volume 1. The Presessence Award is like my Grammy in this world. And so volume 1, you're in the limo going to the Grammys, you know, and I'm about to win that as an independent artist. That's like what I thought as my top, right, for that moment. And then volume 2, which I'm currently making, which I'm incredibly excited about. It's the best music I've ever made.
Nice.
Working with producers that I literally couldn't have dreamed of before, like crazy. And volume 2 is gonna explore the after moment of that. In 3 acts. So each album is also broken up into acts. I think of it like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, totally.
So volume 2 is gonna start very very celebratory and get very
dark.
Very dark. You know, it's gonna bring up a lot of real things. It's gonna bring up the outside world and how it affects this. It's gonna bring up the journey of friendships through success and through you know, all these things, and what does it really look like? Seriously. You know, not just like we did it, Instagram. It's like, what are the inner workings of this, and what does it emotionally feel like, and what are those problems like? Will you be happy after that, and for how long? And what's the next thing? What are the worries and stresses of now having this on your belt? Like, and it's funny because that was the exploration from the jump, and the first album drop brought that full experience for me in a lower, you know, in a lower level than what I was envisioning. But I felt that up of success, and then that down, and that you know, these experiences. So it's crazy because I'm creating it
and then living it,
and then it's happening. Yes.
It's like, it's art imitating life, or is life imitating art?
It's a little bit of both. But I'm grateful for it. I wanted it to be a proving of manifestation too, and that's all it's been.
Yeah. So what is it about this latest? You know, so you're working right now with dream artists and kind of getting back into your emotions, getting that creative space. So what is it about right now that's allowing you to produce some of the best music that you've ever produced?
The last year of these drops and experiencing the space, like it's taken over in many ways, good and bad. It's almost ruined a lot of friendships. In some ways it has ruined friendships and relationships, and struggle to find balance and health. And especially with everything else going on in the world, like I had COVID a month ago, and that was the hardest experience of my life, easily. It still affects me. Like, it's hard to, you know, all the things. So it's these experiences. Like, it's been the craziest time of my life, at the worst time of my life, at the best time of my life.
Produces the best art.
Yeah. So
it's like the singer-songwriter that breaks up with their girlfriend, writes the smash single about love and wanting, but it was a moment in time, right? It was captured in some of that roller coaster ride.
Exactly, man. So I'm just capturing that right now, and I have the space finally to take a step back. Especially right now with the timing of things and everything, to not be in constant marketing mode, and not, you know, have that pressure of being an internet entity.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we just had a great conversation with Cromulon a couple weeks back, and, you know, he was like pretty early to Decentraland, throwing awesome parties, and you know, makes just awesome music, and got onto the Polish Ambassadors Jumpsuit Records, like on the record label. So we got to chat, and that seemed like a real paradox that he was dealing with, is if you're not careful, because, you know, like, he doesn't have like a traditional 9-to-5 job with a boss and all of this. And you can spend your whole damn day like marketing, returning emails, and like doing all the things not related to creating and producing music, kind of like why you're on the map in the first place. So
exactly.
I guess
the whole point of this.
Yeah. Have you figured anything out on that front for, you know, folks that are kind of listening that might be feeling that same tension between producing and creating versus marketing and raising awareness or exposure?
Yeah, I think it's very important to define those chunks of time. So you have to define when it's creative time and when it's marketing promo time, because with this space, that after drop matters almost more than the build up.
That's when the work begins, right?
Exactly. And most people aren't thinking about that because they're building the hype to sell out and to get the funding that they need. And then it's like, we're exhausted, we're burnt out, we've been working 40-hour days for 6 months, like, and now they're tired and they got their financial thing that they've wanted their entire life. So it's easy to be like, all right, I'm gonna chill,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Let me just take a beat.
Yeah. Which is fine and necessary.
Yep.
Like, but to have that preparation on the large scale level of like, okay, this is marketing time, this is creation time, this is marketing time again, it's a little bit of both, is vital. And that goes even to like the day-to-day. Most importantly, it's you have to get the sunlight and the exercise and the health, the being very aware of all of these things and create true balance and schedule, or you're fucked. For lack of a better term. I don't know what we discuss on here, but
yeah. Well, I mean, even in your own story, right? Back to when you were like 18 and only focused on magic, you know, like too much of anything can be disastrous. So this is, you know, moderation story, I feel like. And some great cues there for folks to just block things out, be really clear and intentional about which hat you're wearing. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as both of us wear hats. Well, let's talk about, so I think, was it Props that had reached out, or I think you've joined a new organization, and I mean, I'm sure you're getting hit up all the time. There's lots of defreshes out there going, man, why won't you return my calls? It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. What's up? Like, so talk to us about Props. I think they're building like super brands. They were maybe technical devs behind some of the Rolling Stone stuff. Saw some attachment to, was it Dead Fellas? But maybe talk a little bit about that relationship and just, how you're navigating this space of a zillion players that probably want your time and attention.
Totally. Yeah. So since the album came out, it was an onslaught of 5 meetings a day with a podcast every like 4 days. And it was a lot of talking and a lot of people with a lot of opportunities and a lot of promises. And I learned so much and got real overwhelmed, and I just learned a lot.
Give me one key lesson from that. Like you learned a ton, but what's like one critical thing that you can use in your next drop, right? Because I'm guessing it's going to be an even bigger frenzy. So
do your due diligence. Don't let people's overexcitement create promise.
Yeah. And
don't say yes to everything.
Nice.
Even if it seems really great, because it might not be.
Well done. Well, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to extract those because I think
that's great.
Super valuable lesson.
I'm gonna look back on this and be like,
what did I say? Like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You don't have to take every meeting. It's the big one. Follow your gut, I guess. But all
right, but Props, other people reaching out.
Yeah. So hella people have been hitting me up the whole time.
Yeah.
Since then, to this day, you know, like many DMs every day.
It's a good problem.
It's great. Yeah. In a world that's being built at the same time, it gets hard. A lot of people are instantly starting and instantly reaching out to people instead of having like foundation and true backing. So that's one thing I look out for every time. And I did not want to work with a platform in a way that made me work for them. And that was just like my personal feeling. Like I had seen Latasha with Zora and was like, this is fucking incredible. This is amazing and makes so much sense and has just been so beneficial for both entities. And it's incredible. I love it. And I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. And there wasn't platforms that I was seeing that brought that same independent feeling. You know, there's a lot of like label-y, feely stuff and venture capitalist feeling. And that doesn't, I'm not against that at all. And I've worked with people in those worlds and it's been great. But in terms of like working for a platform like that, I wasn't approached by anyone that I was like, yes, this makes sense for me. And then, so rewind a little bit, when I started NFT work, I was in this kind of group that was kind of like the freshman class at that time that now is like the creators of Deadfellas, the creators of Woodies, and all these amazing projects. And these are just like the people I came up with at the same time. And so that brought a like-minded community of people. One of those people, his name is Bitcoinski. Bitcoinski is the coding and developer for the Deadfellas contract, for Woodies, for the Rolling Stones, and he created a company called Props. Bitcoinski, the day before my album dropped, I got jaded by a platform that bailed on me 48 hours before and just bailed on our whole plan that we had for months that I relied on for marketing. And they were going to support it and then said, we can support the first week of drops. And I was like, that's not even the album. So
yeah, right. I've got 4 weeks planned. Yeah, I need the whole thing.
Yeah, and so that fell through, and so I was just gonna drop it on OpenSea. I was gonna do that, and the incentives were gonna be if you get all of them, then you get all these benefits, but the gas fees were gonna be crazy.
Yes,
it was at that time too. Gas fees were insane.
Right. You pay more than the actual NFT, right? Sometimes.
It literally was. Yeah. And people had FOMO moments that made those transactions. And I was like, you don't got to do that. You can wait. There's enough.
Yeah, like, right.
You'll be good. And I don't know. People ran it up, which was very like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
blessed.
Thank you for real. And yeah, so Bitcoinski hit me up 24 hours before, to make this long story short, hit me up 24 hours before the album came out and was like, if you push it one day, I'll do the full custom contract and do the mint page for it. And we'll be able to send the whole album out in one transaction with the lowest gas fee possible for sending 7. And we'll run it up. It'll be your own unique thing, and it'll be this new thing.
Damn.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, I was like, let me think real quick. Can I get back to you? Yes.
I mean, at first he wanted to push it 3 or 4 days, and I was like, no, man.
Can't do it that.
Yeah. I'd rather, no, I can't. There's been 4 weeks of buildup. Like, that won't be it. And he was like, okay, I could do it in 24. And I was like, ooh, okay. And I tweeted it out, and people actually, it was another marketing moment that people were insanely excited about, because now it was on a custom
next
contract.
level.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. So now that part wasn't even planned, but turned out to be like, I don't want to say the best part, but like,
that was my first time talking to Bitcoinski ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Like actually
talking. Yeah.
We had like texted, but barely. So it was amazing, man. And he believed in me and believed in the project and saw the momentum of the 4 weeks I'd built and put faith into that. And it ended up being this incredible thing that triggered some momentum in the space, I think, After that, it seemed like the floodgates opened, because like Latasha was moving at the same time, Blau with Royal, like all of these things were happening, Spotty, all these things at once were happening. And I think it did some stuff. So it was amazing, man. So yeah, to get back to Props now, Bitcoinski created Props with some of his partners. And they're just a dev team that is doing some incredible things, turning into, I don't want to air out Props and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Turning into an amazing company that is going to be behind much more than just coding. So it's incredible. So I came on with them as, what's my title? Executive
producer. Yeah. Nice.
So I get to come on. I need it on a name tag. So
I know. I was gonna say you need business cards, man.
Yeah. Something on my desk. But no, it gives me the ability to connect with the artists that I see in the space that are the ones, like the Latashas, all of these people, that might not have direct access to the ability to do a full custom drop that actually is beneficial and on brand for them and links from their website and everything. So it gives me the ability to work with people on their drops to make them, from my knowledge with what I've done, successful.
Nice.
And connect them with Props and do some amazing stuff. So we already have like 3 or 4 projects that we're planning and working on, and they're, in my opinion, like game changing for the space. And then beyond that, we're building tools that I'm really hyped about to have a lot of input on, because I've just learned so much about what people love, what people don't like, what I do and don't, and what I think platforms are doing right and not doing right. And so we're building tools for the space that will, in my opinion, like revolutionize the ability to drop music through a custom contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like at scale.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds
Exactly.
rad.
Yeah.
Now,
So
does this,
like curated, you know?
yeah, does this connect to kind of your earlier vision of almost that, scholarship fund, or, you're setting aside X percent of money to help, kind of first time independent artists?
Yeah, man. I sent 30 artists their first mint fee, which was like $200, $300 a person. And so I just set that aside from the album drop because that's what it's about, man. Like,
yeah.
To expand the space and to give back to the community is the only way to keep it moving. That's what I learned from like the visual artists and the digital artists. Like, they just built the ecosystem, So I've applied everything I've learned from that space into the music space, and it's always going to be that. So if I can come in with help to these artists that just need that extra little thing to do incredible things that like actually utilizes the space, then I'm hyped, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Do you feel like this is part of your evolution of an artist, moving more towards that, it almost sounds like kind of executive director, I don't want to call you a label, but like you're starting to be a launch pad for future artists. So do you see that as like a natural extension of what you're doing, or in some way maybe taking away from your own craft?
I have those thoughts for sure. Definitely. Because my full intention and thought is to create the vision I have. And I'm also very good at helping people with their visions. And so if I can be that bridge and have it not take all of my creative energy away and not take all my time away from the things I'm building, then I'm very happy to do that and create that balance like I was talking about, to implement that. But in no way do I see myself stopping my visions and what I'm creating to solely do that. I can do that in like 20 years and go crazy, when I can't like rap anymore on mic, unless I'm Andre 3000 walking around with a flute doing a verse on a Frank Ocean song randomly, which that's honestly the goal. So, it's definitely in the vision though. Like that's always what I've wanted to do. Like I've directed other people's films. I directed an 8-piece dance film that was just incredible, and I love that stuff.
And is the now I want to ask, the next obvious question is like lay out your vision for folks, because I think I've got bits and pieces, and I don't know, I'm almost and now staring at you for 40 minutes, I'm like, are you Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Like, you're just like you've probably gotten that, by the way. Like, hopefully you've gotten
when I was younger, for sure.
Yeah, because you're like this creative, independent, like go wherever my passion and interest goes. So is that the vision? Kind of follow your nose to wherever it leads you, or you have this? No, it's back to that grand master plan that was articulated long ago.
The vision's always been arenas for me. And that's, Presessence Volume 2 is being made with that thought and that continued thought always. And for me, like it's very much so about the music and about the work and about the stories. And I'm shifting into that more and more and more and more and more again, because we fall in and out of that, especially in this space. So my grand vision is like, I see Web3 and the NFT space as a ramp. It's always been about connecting with the most people possible, And so in my mind, how I would do that was with the artists of all kinds, because that's the audience I want. So like, why not pull for that, So that's it. I see J. Cole sitting on stage on his makeshift house from his hometown. in arenas just talking to the arena, talking to an arena.
Not even performing, just talking.
Talking to them, sitting.
This is Dave Chappelle style.
You know, like just talking. Literally having a conversation, and that's where I see it. Yeah. You know, like that's it for me. And then like directing films and writing films that impose music in incredible ways, and writing films for music, and I mean scoring, so many things. Like I see the Tyler the Creators and the A$AP Rockies and these people in hip hop that make it so much bigger than that, to bring people into the world, but at the end of the day, for the music and for the live shows and that connection and the merch that coincides with that, and bringing you into a community through t-shirts and albums and vinyl. And that's where it's at for me. It's always been like, how do I reach superstardom as an artist?
I love it. And how far away are we? Like if we go back to like your biggest, Web 2 in real life kind of performance, how big is that audience, and how far away are we from selling out, Chase Center?
Yeah. So I think of myself as a exponential goer. I go into a hermit ball for X amount of time and then come out just like teleporting, so who knows? That's where I'm at after this last year of doing something that's 7 songs that, like, I didn't have the availability that I do now. Yeah. So like I made those songs in 2020, even like most of them, except for the last 2.
Right.
So outro and movie are the only ones that were made even relatively new, so
I almost bought that one, by the way. The second one. I was like, the movie one's tight. I like that. But I went with, let me get it right, false advertisement. I had to pick up track 1, song 1, man. Like, man. So I'm a domino collector, man. I had to get in.
Thank you, man. Thank you. The artist for that is Chemical Messiah. He's incredible. Stupid. So that's we're just gonna keep it moving.
I love it. Now, do you, again, I'm affiliated, and a lot of the people listening to this are TPA, the Polish Ambassador fans. Is there a world where you guys could be on a poster somewhere down the road? Or it's like, let's go with
the mosh pits.
Well, I know he's coming down to LA. I think in a couple, maybe 2-3 weeks, something like that. But him being on the West Coast, you being on the West Coast, like maybe there's some opportunities. So anyways, it was David himself who was the first person to put me on to you, saying, hey, you got to check this guy out. Like he's getting a ton of love in the Web3 space. He's clearly doing things the right way. This is really the blueprint for so many up and coming folks. He's got, we're exploring the other end where, he was just in Colorado this last weekend and had 7,000 people, and so it's like, okay, how do, we've got a Discord with 1,000 people, right? So now how do we convert Web 2 people to Web 3 versus converting kind of Web 3 to Web 2? But anyways, it's all the same game, right? Yeah. I'm sure you could teach us like a billion things. So
Same.
Well, dude, this is what it's all about. And honestly, this is maybe a great place to leave this conversation. I've been so impressed with music NFTs in particular for the level of like camaraderie, support, and truly like we will win together attitude. And I don't know, do you see that as well? Like, have you felt that vibe and that just the community love in this space?
Yeah, for sure. Like the support of people supporting people is ridiculous. It's like, it's love for sure. And to the live events I've been to that merge the worlds, it's been incredible. Some of the most amazing people, and that's really special. It's to see so many independent artists, specifically that coming together to support each other. Like this is the ecosystem that we've always needed. This is what SoundCloud did. This is what MySpace did. This is like, this is that on a bigger scale that can actually fund us and fund projects. Yes. And that's where it's like, that's it. The Renaissance.
Well, that was totally the hook for me when I started listening to people going, well, God, you gotta, Spotify works great for Taylor Swift and Justin
Yeah.
Bieber. You know, like
Yeah.
there's 1,000 people who these platforms
Yeah.
work incredibly well for,
Yeah.
but most other people are waiters or, you know, still have like W-2s and like regular jobs to try and like, you know,
Yeah, man.
fulfill
Yeah.
their passion. So
If the Presessence Volume 1 sales translated to streams, the album would be at 40 to 50 million.
oh,
That's Beyonce. I'd be Beyonce right now. You know? So,
I love it.
yeah, we're going to see that though. I'm going to get there. We'll hit the
that's
40
amazing.
mil.
Well, yeah, again, this is all about manifesting the reality.
Exactly.
You're becoming Beyonce. The transformation is real, brother. Oh my God. Well, look, hey, I know you're busy. You got to get back to your thing. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, your busy schedule. Sit down with me. And again, all the fans in TPA, all the fans in music, NFTs. And folks, if you have not picked up an NFT from this man, like please do now. So let's end with what's the call to action? Where do people need to go right now to support you? And what's coming up that they need to pay attention to?
Yeah. Well, I'm revamping my website right now. It's going to be really dope and it's just taking a second. So my Twitter's the best. It's at Domino's Music, DOMINOS Music, no nice. E, no pizza.
No pizza, please.
Yeah, so go on there. Everything's on there in my link tree. My media tab, it tells the whole story if you scroll down far enough. And yeah, that's where you can hit me up. All the NFTs are linked in there too, and all that. But what's coming up next? I am very much so working on Volume 2, the music. I'm going to be renting out an Airbnb here in July. To really go in on it. Everything's going to be filmed. We're going to get a documentary on it. Nice. We got phone footage right now. And then outside of that, for Volume 1, we're going to do merch for holders. We're going to do some shows at NFT NYC that I'm announcing very soon. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my whole band out there. It's very exciting. And then I'm working on, this is like the last thing, but I'm working on this generative project. Okay. I'm drawing everything. It's called DOMS. That Twitter name is at DOMS Worldwide. It is these characters, these domino characters. I have 300 traits so far.
I've seen these. Yes. Okay, I've seen these. Yeah.
So this is something it's a fun project that I'm working on, that the goal is to fund a Web3 tour, West Coast and East Coast, where the holders would be able to vote on where the shows are, what venues, and who opens those shows, as well as a bunch of other fun interactive event focused stuff. So I'm really excited about it. It's a lot of fun, and it's gonna be good fun.
That sounds so good. Hey, and I'm going to end this episode because like I believe truly in the transformative power of education. And I think you're doing a lot to help artists today. But I want to take this back to that teacher that influenced you a ton. If you get that fund going up, like right now, like for real, like you call me, I got a check for you. Okay. To like donate and put that in. Okay. So I won't need to disclose anything on this, but dude, like you got me in all the feels. I want to support educators. It sounds like she's pivotal in your life. And if I can help out in a little way financially, I'm blessed to be in a position to do that. So I love to do that, man.
Thank you, bro. I'm gonna literally set up the wallet. I'm gonna make a thread about it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm in right now, man.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, dude. Domino. Thank you for your time, brother. All right, we'll catch you later.
Thank you.